On this episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, you got your voice, episode 227. I'm back. Hope everybody had a happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. We into Christmas, almost to another holiday, but I'm back. It's time for a lot more Best of Bias. I know we didn't have a pod last week. It's been a habit during these last couple of weeks, but traveling and holidays and no excuses, no long talking either, but we're getting right into it. A fully loaded episode today. Sports, pop culture, some cinema corner, some stuff to talk about. So let's get right to it. It's the Best of Bias podcast. It's Lydell Dinero. And again, it's episode 227, season 3, your favorite podcast. Let's get right to it. Where that theme song at? Yeah. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah. It's the best of bias. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry about that. I always started off with some crazy microphone sounds. I'll get better at that, I promise. It's your boy Lydell Dinero, and we back in the building for another episode of the Best of Bias podcast. Like I said in the beginning there, welcome back. I know, I always have some kind of excuse letting you guys know why I didn't have a pod last week, but man, holiday seasons are here. You know, I'm back and forth from San Diego a lot. I'm traveling, I'm going to events, you know what I mean? So I'm here and there with it sometimes. So I do apologize for the no pod on late notice, but sometimes, kind of look forward to when sometimes it's holidays and your boy kind of has to leave the stew. Damn, I did it again. My bad. Leave the stew for a pod, or excuse me, for travel, to visits, to get, information and gain knowledge for the pod. Sometimes there won't be a pod, but I promise you, I will get back to letting you guys know before I think about not recording. Next week though, I might, it might be another little gap. I might try a little recording, maybe a little, get some content out to you on YouTube next week. It's just next week I have to have help V-Ron's. Everybody send prayers out to her. She has a little procedure she has to get done. Nothing too crazy. I just don't want to put her business out there, but it's nothing too crazy, so don't get too worried about it. But yeah, I'm gonna be out there again, so I may or may not have a pod next week, but it's all good. That's neither here nor there. Let's talk about right now. It's episode 227. Thank you for being here, new listeners. Thank you for being here, family members. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for bearing with me. I know you last week. Where's the pod? Hey, you already know I'm gonna be back. It's never two pods in a row I miss, but again, I'll be doing a better job of letting you guys know. But a lot of stuff happened last week. NFL, fantasy, football, some pop culture stuff. The last pop culture stuff you heard from me is kind of old. So I felt like in my soul, it was time to get back to the people and let them know what's going on in these streets, because there's some shit going on. But again, I don't want to hold you too long. I know we got to catch up. But I know you guys got stuff to do on your weekend, on your weekday, whenever you listen to the pod. The pod you can listen to anywhere, as y'all know by now. This is your favorite podcast of the summer, spring, fall, winter, wherever you're listening to. We heating things up and keeping you going. You know what I'm saying? On the way to work, while you're working out, whatever you need us for, we here for you. Me, AKA, in a growing team of rotating individuals that's always going to be on the pod to give you what you need to hear. And let's bring it to you right now. But firstly, I want to know how you guys are doing. I'd like to start it off asking you how the mental health is doing, how you doing this weekend, how's work been treating you, how is your family, you know what I mean? Just let me know, you know what I'm saying? I'm here for you. It's been a good little holiday season for me. I didn't do the traditional Thanksgiving like everybody does. I hope everybody was able to spend time with your family, get some good food in, share some good stories. If you guys do the turkey bowl, got some good football in. I mean, I remember I used to do that shit, man. But damn, playing tackle football, you know what I'm saying, out there early ass in the morning before Thanksgiving and no pads with sibling rivalries and family rivalries, that shit gets crazy, bro. Broken legs, busted lips, busted heads. Yeah, pause. But we need to, I remember that back in the day. But this year for me, me and V-Rons did something kind of special, kind of like, kind of cute, kind of quaint, kind of, you know what I'm saying? What's the word when it's not around a whole bunch of people? Like I would say personal. You know what I'm saying? We cooked at her house for the first time, just us two. We usually either go to her family or my family. Of course, how my family throw down in the kitchen. You already know how I rock. I'm always with macaroni and cheese and the yams and the the prime rib and the turkey, of course, for all my turkey people out there. I'm not really big of a turkey guy. Damn, I did it again. I'll get into the sides. I want to ask you a little question about sides in a second, but it was cool. We cooked a lot of stuff for the first time. We made our own. There's this mac and cheese recipe that V-Ron's got. It's going viral on TikTok. You guys might have heard about it, seen it. It was going around this Thanksgiving, kind of easy to make. Because, nothing compares to mama's mac and cheese, the baked mac and cheese. Everybody know they got their mom's or their family's own little recipe. You already know what I'm talking about when it comes to the baked mac and cheese. I'm a big mac and cheese guy. Those who don't like the mac and cheese at Thanksgiving can go to hell in the most respectful way possible, though. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't like mac and cheese, something's wrong with you. I get it. People don't like cheese. I get it. But to dislike mac and cheese, to dislike yams, none of that marshmallow shit. No, 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 no. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know about that marshmallow shit, you feel me? In the dressing, I'm a dressing guy, but me personally, I knew I was gonna talk about sides and dislikes later, but I, me and dressing are gonna have a fight because dressing, stuffing, however you call it, I'm just not a fan of I know there's like turkey meat or there's meat inside of stuffing, but the bones of the meat that you use, when did that become a thing? I know. Me personally, stuffing is pretty new to me because I'm a picky eater. If you know me, I'm super picky when it comes down to me choosing what I'm about to eat and what I'm gonna consume. I'm gonna take time to look at what everything that's in it, deduce that shit, get my investigative journalism on, trying to know what's inside that thing before yeah, I'm not even, you already know what I'm saying. But yeah, the bones in stuffing, you can't just eat through it and just go ahead and enjoy the thing. I was mixing it with my mac and cheese, and then all of a sudden I bite on a bone, and then I lose it in my chew. You know what I mean? When you're chewing on something and there's one thing in a delicious bite that's in the back of your chew and you about to swallow it, but you can't swallow that bite because if you do, you risking your life with that bone being somewhere in that delicious swallow pause that you about to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a risky game. So I think I'm just gonna stare that. I'm gonna put that with crab and popcorn on a list of things that Lydell Dinero is not gonna do. Yes, I'm speaking in third person because I'm serious about this shit. I'm not eating these things anymore because I don't trust them. But anyways, we made stovetop, so that's a little bit safer. It didn't have the bones. I know dressing and stuff like that, it's fire, especially when your family makes it, but I can't risk the bones no more. I can't. We got a honey ham. Shit was fire. I feel like I'm transitioning into a ham guy over turkey. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's just I know some people can cook a fire turkey, but me, I just like the flavor of ham. I know a lot of people don't like pork either, but sheesh, it's cool. It's cool. Of course, for desserts, actually, we didn't have traditional desserts. I think we had like cheesecake or some shit. We didn't have no sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie, nothing like that. Apple pie. We didn't have that. But we had a good mix of stuff. Good company, chilled out, watched some movies, and I was able when I came back um from San Diego, I was able to still have some Thanksgiving food from when my family cooks. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to double dip. But if you guys still have Thanksgiving food in your refrigerator by the time that you're listening to this podcast, there is something wrong with you. You probably need to go to the doctor and check that stomach out because that shit needs to be in the garbage. Hopefully, you're eating something different. Get you some Chipotle or some shit. Change it up. Change it up. It's time to switch it up. I know you're gonna have the same foods for Christmas, so you can go without for a couple of more weeks. About 3 weeks to Christmas. Go ahead and change up your palate for a little bit, player. But hope you guys did have a good Thanksgiving again. If you spent time with family or had a personal little kind of quaint one with your loved one, like I did, hope that went well. If you went out to restaurants and didn't even cook, hope you had a good one. And hope Christmas, and hope you got to go out there and Black Friday shop if you guys participate in that. I know it kind of like died down from the way it used to be. Sales are kind of like people are getting smarter and realizing these sales aren't really sales anymore. They're kind of just using prices that the thing should be to entice you to come to stores and get shit instead of upping the price and people not buying in. All the marketing games that they play. I worked retail a lot in my past, so I know how it works, but it's still kind of go out there. It's kind of cool to go out there and to utilize these low prices sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Never hurt, especially with Christmas and the holidays coming up again. I don't, I don't want to have to like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm at a loss of words a lot lately when I'm talking to you guys. I don't know why. I love y'all. I shouldn't be at a loss of words. But I'm not trying to promote necessarily Christmas in the way of like go ahead and buy and spend all your money, spend your last dollar just to make people happy on Christmas. 'Cause that's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's about getting with your family members, enjoying their time, enjoying your time with them while you have them, because life is so short, not to be morbid or anything or somber and take the mood down. But you know, people is passing, you never know it's your time. So enjoy that time when you have it. That's more so why the reason I love that Thanksgiving and Christmas are so close together now. It's just you get to double up on the time you get to spend with your family. And then if you want to end the year with them as well on some New Year's shit, you can do that too. So I love the holiday season, and my birthday is around that time too. So it's just all love around those times. So again, hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving and has had a good week before you listen to this too, man. I just want to make sure everything's good with y'all before I get into the shit that don't matter as much, the pop culture stuff. We love it. We love it. We want to check on y'all first. So thank y'all for being here and listening. So let's get into some shenanigans. Um, oh yeah, Comic-Con. I told you I won my Comic-Con tickets Thursday and Sunday we going. Also, if you guys listen to RDC World One, Mark Phillips and the gang, all the homies, RDC World One, RDC World One Gaming, RDC World One Live. Shout out y'all if y'all want to shout me out back. Y'all can do that shit too. But yeah, they're doing big things, man. I've watched them a lot. Just on Instagram, social media, I watch them grow. And it just, you know, just the person that I am and the content that I create, you could see what's around me right now. It kind of matches. And they're really inspiration for some of the shit that I do want to do and some of the shit I'm trying to get into with the homies and to bring Best of Bias Media into, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a group of people that kind of took interests that people in our community, especially in the Black community, kind of got made fun of for liking back in the day, and just making a platform and making a area with this con they're doing. It's called the Dream Con that they've been doing for the last couple of years. They're doing it this year in Houston. Tickets go on sale. The raffle starts because it's really popular. They did 3 releases for the tickets, 3 raffles, and there's another one coming up December 13th the next week. So if you guys want to go, Best of Bias will be there. We'll be representing out there. We're trying to go out there. It's in Houston. You know, so we're traveling everywhere, man. We're doing these cons. It's Comic-Con. It's like a Comic-Con. It's like anime, gaming, streaming. So it's like all the cons that I've gone to, pretty much Comic-Con, TwitchCon, all that stuff kind of put into one. And all by streamers and gamers that kind of cultivated like the Ant Boys and a lot of those people. The gaming teams just kind of cultivated a community that kind of just puts a lot of popular cultures together and gives a space for people that like that kind of stuff to not be judged and for them to really be themselves. So check out that too. I just wanted to talk about that while I'm talking about San Diego and stuff because I am going to Comic-Con and they're kind of following each other. I think it's March 30th through July the 4th, and then Comic-Con is May 30th through June the 4th. And then July 24th through 27th is Comic-Con. So holla at me if you're trying to go to some cons, because I'm going to be out here, man. You know what the fuck I do. I'll be out here trying to get some shit, get some information, and being part of the culture. For y'all, for me, for the people. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it. Holla at me if you're trying to roll. But let's get into this fantasy football shit, man. It's playoff times in my league, and a lot of leagues I've noticed that it's not necessarily playoff time yet. They actually build up into the playoffs. They have I think it's just that they have less teams make the playoffs because there's no way you can have 6 teams make the playoffs and the playoffs not start this week unless you play till week 17. And that's kind of weird. Some teams may not have starters in, some teams may give up already. So I don't think that's quite fair. And to have 6 teams make it, it makes it more hopeful for a lot of teams and for them to try to keep going and try to win as much as they can until the end of the season. So although this week there's a lot of buys on week 14, which is, I feel like abnormal because I've been doing this for a long time as far as starting the playoffs with 6 teams. And we'd never really had as many buys as there was this week going into it. So it's kind of shitty. I lost Nico Collins for the playoffs. Spoiler alert, I didn't make the playoffs, y'all. I was fucking praying and hoping I didn't lose. I will drop out of the playoffs with this loss last week, but I did end up making it. Best of Bias Invitational. We have made it to the playoffs now, week 14. We have a consolation side and a championship side, of course. So let's just break that down and see who made it. Again, thank you guys for participating this year and participating all the time. The chat's always fun. You guys always keep it competitive, and it's a bunch of dudes that really know their shit, man. Every year it gets funner and funner. Everybody gets more knowledgeable and more knowledgeable. Everybody knows each other more every year and kind of knows their ways, and the commentary back and forth is always hella cool. So thank you guys again for that. And without further ado, firstly, let's go over the results of week 13 before we get into week 14. Me, CD's hands, I lost to Armpit. Great. I did put a score in here. I lost 128 to, I think I only lost by 11. So I'll say it's 139. It might be less than that. I think it was like 7 points, but I was getting my ass whooped. Some players didn't perform the way I wanted them to perform. Justin Herbert, oh my God, 7 points. CD Lamb got hurt, did me wrong. It was just fucked up. But then Bucky Irvin, my boy, came and helped me out. Trey McBride held me down. My thing was that I was in fourth place, and I had 100 points more than the person who would have been in sixth place, and I had a better record than the other person who was playing that could have took my place if they won. So, oh, actually, that didn't make any sense. I had a better record than the person that lost, that if he won, I would have to worry about points for, and the person that did win, I was able to hold on and have more better record than the person that lost. So it was all convoluted. I probably said that wrong hella different ways. You probably don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But basically, I still made the playoffs, but losing this week, thank God. Drake won 143 to 121 to be able to solidify that one seed, even though he was already there anyways. A loss would have still would have won the one seed and got that bye. Beat 56 Double D's 143 to 121. Sean's championship team beat Derek's Jet Skis 141 to 87. He didn't even try. He had two people on IR. Didn't even take him out the roster. Derek's Jet Skis is about to get last place again 2 years in a row. And boy, I'm telling you, that trophy ain't gonna be cool. Hot Boys won 148 to 131 over Primetime Pope, and that was the game that mattered. It was a team that was 6-6 and one team that was 7-5. If the team that was 6-6 won, man, I would have had to beat them by at least 50 points to stay in the contention. But since they lost and I had a win over them, me losing and he lost, to put me down in sixth place, and Hot Boys was able to move up to fifth. So we both snuck in the playoffs, and Primetime Pope was eliminated. Cam's Catering lost to Shenanigans 122 to 144. K Swag beat with myself 145 to 83. So a little playoff preview for me again, for you guys. Since Drake won, finished with the first seed, with the first seed at 10-3, he gets the bye in the championship side of the bracket. Hot Boys, the 4 seed at 8-5, is playing the 5 seed. K Swag at 7-6. Shenanigans, the 3 seed is at 8-5, is playing me. CD's Hands, the 6 seed at 7-6. The lower seeded winner of both of the games plays Drake 1 in the next round. The higher seeded winner has to play Armpit, the 2nd seed, who is the 2nd seed at 9-4, who also has a bye for being the 1 and 2 seeds. In the consolation bracket, we have Primetime Pope being the number 1 losing team in 7th place. Cam's Catering in 10th place is at 5-8, is playing the 11th place with myself, 4-9. Again, lower seed. Oh wait, and then Sean's championship team at 9 seed at 5-8 is playing Derek's Jet Skis, the 12th seed at 4-9. Again, the higher seeded team plays the 8th seed, 56 Double D's at 5-8, who also has a bye. The lower seeded winner is going to play Primetime Pope, who had the bye for having 7th place and having this bye in the constellation bracket. So it's getting crazy. Again, I'm missing a player in the playoffs against Shenanigans. Shenanigans has a roster that is kind of crazy with a whole bunch of Lions on it. Got Aubrey as his kicker. He's gonna do some work. It's gonna take a miracle for my team, especially with a lot of injuries I have. Bucky Irving, my team is just, from what I had to begin this season. Waiver wire has been my friend. You win off of waiver wires if you play it right every season. You already know what I'm saying. Teams can be win or loss with waiver wire people. So Tyrone Tracy would have never thought he'd be my starting running back. Bucky Irving coming into the season, he was just my backup. I had Rashad White the whole season. I had, CeeDee Lamb playing the whole season as my number one pick, number one overall. He hasn't performed like a number one overall pick, so I'm praying that he'll do right. I had Lad McConkey, had him on my bench all season. Then I started starting him when he popped out of nowhere, but then he's been injured the last 3 weeks, and now he's questionable to play. I have Brian Thomas Jr. He's been off and on all season, and he doesn't really have a quarterback, and the Jags are horrible. I got Mac Jones hoping that he can get a late touchdown, and this is the playoffs, so I can't do that. I had to dig. I got whatever his name is, Garano or whatever his name is, they're a running back for the 49ers, but I'm scared to start him. Oh, this is not what the first round of the playoffs is supposed to be for me. I have to waffle between Kyler Murray and Justin Herbert. I don't know who to play because Justin Herbert has fucked me over and Kyler Murray has fucked me over. And I wouldn't say successive weeks, but it's just like sometimes they both fuck me over once. So I'm kind of iffy on that too. Deshaun, if you're listening to this shenanigans, don't listen to it. Don't hear that I'm unsure about what I want to do. But man, y'all pray for me because this one's not looking good. If I make it to the next round and I get Nico Collins back, I may be a little more confident. But I'm playing against some hitters right now. I'm gonna need all I can get. So I'll be back to you next week, I'm sure, with some good news or some bad news. Either way, big money coming up on the Best of Bias Invitational 2024 playoffs will be here soon. I'll let you guys know all about it. All right. All right, let's move on. NFL Week 14 preview. I know last week or a couple weeks ago, I had some predictions, but since I missed last week, let's skip those and let's get right to the Week 14 predictions. You know what I'm saying? If I can, starting with Green Bay and Detroit. Is that the Thursday night game? I'm not sure, but that's the game I'm gonna start with. Green Bay is well, Detroit is of course favored at home against Green Bay. I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I think the Detroit Lions are frauds, man. We beat them, the Buccaneers. That's we, of course. You guys know I get down Buccaneers all day. God damn it, if you didn't know, you better ask somebody. But anyways, the Lions, the only team to beat the Lions, it was us. And the team, a lot of the teams that they beat, they put up some big scores. 52 points one game, 40 points some other games. Some bully shit. They go for it on fourth down, trying to be cute. But just imagine sometimes if they don't get those fourth downs. Just imagine if you put Jared Goff in a situation where he's unsure about himself and all the weapons that he has don't score on one play, gadget plays, pitchbacks. They have a super offensive squad. Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Jameson Williams, yada yada yada. Tim Patrick out of nowhere, but I see some flaw in them. I see some flaw in them. A lot of the teams in their division are really close to them. So a couple of games, a couple of losses from them, and they could potentially lose that number one seed, or not the number one seed, because I think the Eagles may win that overall. I think they're one game behind the Lions. And I think the Lions may slip up somewhere. They've been getting lucky a lot as of late. And again, they're cute. There are a lot of gimmicks and they can do shit. But I think if you put Jared Goff in a weird situation, the injuries are mounting up. I think the Packers could get them. So though I need one of those NFC North teams to lose for wild card purposes, just in case the Bucks don't win our division, you know, I want Green Bay to beat the Lions, and I'm picking them in this game for an upset, even though the Lions are favored by 3.5 at home. Miami at home against the Jets. The Jets are in shambles. They're talking about benching Aaron Rodgers. They're talking about Aaron Rodgers just getting cut. They're in shambles. We had high hopes for the Jets this season. Now they're just proving to be the same old Jets of old. So I got the Miami Dolphins in that game. They're favored by 6.5 points at home, so I got them. Falcons at Minnesota. I got Minnesota. You don't even need to ask why. I need the Falcons to lose every game possible just so the Bucks can win our division, and I hate them boys. Minnesota or New Orleans Saints at the New York Giants, and the New York Giants are favored by 5 points. No, never mind. New Orleans is favored by 5 points in this game. I'm not going to pick New Orleans. I'm going to pick the Giants. So get it done. I don't know who's going to start for quarterback for y'all. Just get it done, please. And Tracy, I need like 7 touchdowns out of you for fantasy purposes. Let's get it done. Carolina at Philly. Philly's favored by 12.5 points. I got Philly in that game. Don't need to ask why. Fuck. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want, Panthers. But just, yeah, you already know how I feel about those guys. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 6.5 points. It's a lot of points, especially after how Cleveland played last week. I know it's a divisional game, and James Winston will be giving the ball up a lot. And I think Cleveland won that first game they played against each other this season. So it's hard to beat the team twice, and Pittsburgh's going to be at home. But I don't know. Cleveland might have that dog in them, no pun intended. So I'm gonna pick Cleveland for the upset. Tampa at Las Vegas. Okay, so we're streaking a little bit right now. Last game was a little worrisome. First game, not the first game coming off the box, that was the Giants. Um, I don't know why we played so bad last game. Why we played down to our competition. I don't know, man. Our DBs, it's just we had high hopes for us when Whitehead and we got Mike Edwards back and we had Tyke Smith and we had a bunch of other guys, but I didn't realize that everybody was getting hurt. Tyke Smith, when did he hurt his knee? I didn't know when that happened. Fucking Whitehead tore his pectoral. So I don't know if he tore it or some shit. He's not out for the rest of the season, but he's been out. So when we have to grab these practice squad guys, it makes us look so discombobulated and we look crazy. No matter how good Bucky Irving does, no matter how good Mike Evans does, no matter how much of a soldier Baker Mayfield looks like, if we can't hold a very minuscule team like the Panthers down, a rookie quarterback like Bryce Young down, with a stable of nobody receivers just getting open and taking it to us and almost beating us, it takes a fumble by Chuba Hubbard in the red zone for us to kick a field goal in overtime to win. We shouldn't have to do that, especially if we're gonna win the games we need to go streaking to win the division and make noise in the playoffs. We need to get better and fast. Our middle linebackers and give up the middle of the field already like no other. With our backside and everything else holding the outsides down, having Dean back and having Zion McCullum be out there, we thought we'd be able to hold our own, but it kind of looks like, we're regressing. And if our offense is going to be as good as it is, I think it might be fourth, fifth scoring offense in the league. Our defense shouldn't be regressing. Our coach is a defensive coach. Get that shit right. So against the Raiders, I think we should. Are we at home too against the Raiders? Fuck yeah. We're favored by 7 points, so we should be able to win this game. It should be a smooth, clean game. Mike Evans is back. Baker Mayfield is healthy. Looked kind of ugly last game. Him throwing all those interceptions and trying to come back after the injury, throwing an interception. But I think he has it, man. Bucky Irving was a little banged up, but him running the ball the way that he does, when they finally decide to make him the starter and stop trying to make Rachaad White happy and give him the carries sometimes as well. Just do what's winning us the games and what's getting us yards, what's making us productive. If Bucky Irving is healthy, give him the ball. When he needs a spell, give Rachaad White the ball. When we need a pass play, give Rachaad White the ball. It's just stop trying to make it seem like you're not making Bucky Irving the starter. He's a rookie. He's doing great. He's like fourth in yards on the season, yards after contact or some shit. Just stop. Just stop. Okay, and we can win the game. Anyways, Jaguars at Titans. I got the Titans in that game. The Jaguars are trash. Arizona at Seattle. It's a divisional game, but I really do want Arizona to win that division for some reason, just to be a slap in everybody's face. I believe in Kyler. I believe in Trey McBride, and I believe in Marvin Harrison and Connor. Man, get it done, man. Let's get it done. Um, that's my, you know what I'm saying? Me and Connor, have a little something in common being cancer survivors, man. I feel for the boy and him come back and being such an impact that he has been made in the league, Mr. Young Concrete, you feel me? Um, what else? Rams at home against Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 4.5 points. I think the Buffalo will win this game. Rams do need it. They're 6-6 and the division is crazy, but I think Buffalo will get the win. They did have a crazy game in the snow last week, and they, overcame. I think they had a bye last week, if I'm not mistaken, after that snow game. Or was it last week? I'm not tripping. I mean, I'm tripping. But anyways, I think the Bills will win it. I think Josh Allen may be on an MVP role this season. He may win MVP if Lamar don't win it again. I think Lamar may have lost too many games, and if Buffalo gets to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, I think it kind of be inevitable. Patrick Mahomes not having the best year this year. 49ers at home against Chicago. I got the 49ers in that game. Chicago is just not good. They're in shambles too, looking for coaches and shit like that. I know the 49ers are fucked up. Everybody on the team is hurt, but I think they're can do well enough to beat the Bears. Chargers at Kansas City. Kansas City favored by 4 points. I'm picking the Chargers all day. Hopefully somebody beats the Chiefs and they don't get lucky and just skate through the rest of the season. Somebody put it to them and beat them, please. And Chargers, I think this time to do it. Last time, I think it came down to something hella stupid, just like all the other games the Chiefs win come down to something stupid. So hopefully the Chargers can come through and win that game. And then Cowboys against the Bengals. Cowboys at home against the Bengals. I'm just picking the Cowboys because I need CeeDee Lamb to score a bunch of touchdowns. Please. And no field goals from Aubrey, just touchdowns from CeeDee Lamb. Please. Please. So I got the Cowboys in that game. So let's start it over really just to repeat these for you, just in case you're trying to put some bets in using my advice. You feel me? I got the Green Bay Packers upsetting Detroit at home. I got the Miami Dolphins beating the Jets at home. I got Minnesota Vikings winning at home against the Falcons. I got the Giants winning at home against the Saints. I got Philadelphia winning at home against the Panthers. I got the Browns upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers again. Let's go, Jameis. I got Tampa winning at home against the Raiders. I got the Titans winning at home against the Jags. I got Arizona winning at home against Seahawks. I have Buffalo winning in LA against the Rams. 49ers winning home against the Bears. Chargers winning in Kansas City against the Chiefs. And then Dallas winning at home against, excuse me, on Monday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. So again, if you guys want to use that advice to win a little bit of money, do what you need to do. Put in my Cash App, you know what to do. You feel me? Next, moving into a little bit of college football. I haven't really been talking about my Oregon Ducks, man. It's a little bit of nerves in me, you know what I'm saying? More so than anything because we're number one in the country and it's been a ride, man. A lot of the teams that have been number one in the country this year have been kind of rotating based off of stupid losses they've had. So I didn't want to jinx it by being out here and being hella braggadocious about the Oregon Ducks being number one in the country and actually going through the season 12-0. But I want to say now, congratulations to my Oregon Ducks out there. You already know what's going on. We still got work to do. We got to win the Big 12 championship of Saturday against Penn State. But if we can do that and secure the number one seed in the college football playoff, that would be amazing. Again, I haven't really been talking about the college football playoff standings either. You guys all know we're number one. It's just the fluctuation of what's going to go on, and me reporting on it every week is kind of going to be, it's going to be kind of, kind of annoying. Just so when the final standings come out, I'll talk more about what's going on in the college football playoffs. It's just a lot of championship games have to happen. And then, of course, there will be some movement based on those. And then Alabama being a three-loss team, getting in the playoff as a 12 seed right now as it stands, that is kind of controversial. You know what I'm saying? People are pitching a fit about it, but it is what it is. Again, it's not over yet. We'll see what happens as the final standings do happen. Everybody has their last week. If you have a championship game, that counts for you as well. So if you win your Power Five division or conference, you get that first round bye. I don't know if that actually happens for sure, because if a two-loss team beats a zero-loss team, Penn State, Oregon, I don't think that Penn State really should get that number one seed just because they have two losses, just because they beat the ones. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Oregon right now, we on top. Basketball doing well. 8-0 as well. We're playing USC right now. See if we can keep that streak going. Won that Player Eras Cup. $1.5 million for the NIL, man. I'm just proud of my boys, man. It's been a long time. I'm trying to get back to prominence. Basketball, we've always had the recruits, and Dana Allman's always been doing his thing. It's just we've have had like a lot of bad starts, and also it's been a lot of transfer guys rather than people that we recruit in and we can grow with. So it's kind of hard to know what each year is going to bring. We can always expect Coach Altman to have the team ready to perform and do its thing. So seeing them 8-0 this year with another crop of transfers, recruits as well. But we always know Dana is going to do his thing. And just with the football team having its success right now in the recruiting trail, that's a whole nother story. Dan Lanning is doing his thing. I think we had like 9 top 300 recruits signed for 2025, 2026. We're rolling 5-star quarterbacks rolling in. Our DBs, we had like 4 or 5 5-star DBs signed for next year alone. Best DB room in the country, bringing a DBU back for us here at Oregon, man. It's gonna be great, man. Hawaiian recruit, I can't say your name, but I'm gonna learn that name. I'm gonna call you Crew for now. And Achilles Smith, I can't wait to see how the quarterback competition is going to happen out there, especially with Dante Moore, him having a season this year, not knowing how many years he's going to play because he didn't really play last year, and him being his first year with the team this year. We're going to see how it happens, man. Iron sharpens iron is what Dan always says. And last year, getting all those defensive recruits, defensive linemen, and everybody this year getting the DBs because we had a lot of recruits, or excuse me, transfers come in as DBs, and a lot of our DBs are seniors. Linebackers are seniors. So rotating in new linebackers and DBs is really important for the team's success. Having quarterbacks for the quarterback room, Dylan Gabriel being that transfer coming in the 6th year. So having that fresh crop of quarterbacks, especially the Hawaii pipeline that we're able to secure with Crew coming in, flipping from Cal. Just being a big fan of Marcus Mariota and Dylan Gabriel being able to be in his ear, just native Hawaiian guys that play for Oregon, just keeping that pipeline and that Pacific Islander pipeline, Bay Area, California pipeline. Now we're going countrywide. It's getting crazy. And I'm just excited to see what's next, man. I'm excited to see us on top after Willie Taggart and Mario Cristobal left. Those two recruiters that got the program started with a lot of recruits we never saw. Dan Lanning coming in after success at Georgia. We thought it was going to be more of the same. Him come in, bring a lot of recruits in, and then him see the success, be offered a job somewhere else like Alabama last year when they lost Saban, and just get out of the school and go take his recruits with him and restart like everybody else does. He was like, nah, I'm planting my feet here, planting my flag here. And he's starting to build some shit. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that I'm here to see it, to be a part of it. And all Oregon fans who've been struggling with us, trying to get that first natty for basketball, football, let's get it. We right here with the team, and we riding with Dan Lanning, and I'm hoping he stays forever as long as he can. I mean, he's in his 30s now. He can stay forever. You know what I'm saying? And I hope he plans to and build this program and bring it to new prominence. But also, women's NCAA basketball is going crazy right now as well. You already know I'm going to talk about Juju. I'm going crazy. One of the first to reach first of her accolades this season, early in the season. One of the first players to ever reach 1,000 points. The fastest to reach 1,000 points in the women's NCAA women's basketball history, passing up Caitlin's record there. And then the other night, she hit 40 points, scoring 9 threes, beating her coach's record for USC for most threes in the game. She's just balling, man. She was ready last year to come out and ball and be out there with Caitlin and everybody, all the other rookies that was Angel Reese and making noise. But once she gets to her junior year and she's ready to come out, she's going to be so polished and ready to play. I know everybody's on Juju now, but I was talking about Juju when everybody was on Caitlin, bro. I was like, why are we doing this? If you guys go back into these other pods, you should know. I'm like, why are we doing this? We're talking all this shit about Caitlin Clark, but Juju to me is way better. More well-rounded skills. It's just you see it. You see it. Caitlin's good, but it's like she shoots and she's surprisingly good. She's surprisingly good. It's like, oh, you wouldn't expect her to shoot like that. Oh, you wouldn't expect her to pass like that. Juju, you know she can pass like that. You know she can shoot like that. You see it. You see it. You don't even have to see the shot. You see how she dribbles. You see how she gets her position. You see how she creates contact. You see how she defends. She's not. It's crazy, man. I'm not gonna go on this whole Juju thing because again, she is a USC player, and me as an Oregon fan, I can't be doing. But hey, when you know, you know, and everybody else knows, and they're seeing now, and they're gonna know, especially with the tournament coming up. But the what's the word? The diversity and the what did I write down? It's the word. It's the word that I wrote down here. It's the equalness, the leveled playing field this year. Okay, so last year, it was South Carolina, it was LSU, USC, of course, the UConn with Paige Becker. But it wasn't as spread out as it is this year. If you guys have been watching Notre Dame. Hidalgo and Miles, oh my gosh, that duo there is doing shit that I have never seen before. You already know about South Carolina. South Carolina actually poached a recruit, or not a recruit, a player that was at Oregon last year, balling out for South Carolina. You already know how the coach does over there, building crazy teams. You have Van Lith that transferred over to TCU. They're balling now. And then you have, of course, still you got Flage at LSU still holding it down, dropping 27. And then you still, of course, you have NC State that's out there balling. Who else? Of course, USC with Juju and Kiki. They're balling out. Of course, you got to look out for Oregon no matter what. You already know Oregon's coming. Yeah, it's just a bunch of schools. It's just a bunch of schools. I want to say, and of course, UConn, Paige Becker. You always know there's going to be at least a couple of teams, but this year you never know where it's going to go. I want to say, that Juju and them being coming in as one of the top, ranked teams ever, having so many recruits there. Everybody thinking they're top five. Their team overall is the best team in the country, but they got it handed to them by Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? So in the tournament, I can't wait to see what's going on in the tournament this year. I can't wait. Well, I wish they would lower the requirements for the women's basketball teams for them to be able to come out and go pro because I don't know why they have to play 3 years and NBA players damn near don't even have to go to college at all to be able to play in the NBA. They can go straight to the G League, but I don't think they have a league for women's to go right into the WNBA like that. So I think it's kind of crazy. Juju's ready right now, after her freshman year. So she should be able to come out of the college system right after her sophomore year. She shouldn't have to wait another year after that. Though she'll probably be a multi-millionaire by the time she even steps on a WNBA court if it goes the way it goes now, because she's everywhere right now in her sophomore year. So if she plays one more year in college, yeah, all that money she'll make, she probably won't even want to play for the WNBA. She'll be ready to do something else. But watch out for Juju. Watch out for the NCAA period. All the sports is going crazy right now. Oregon sports is going crazy right now. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, man. It's a sports equinox. You know, if you're not into basketball, football, check out college sports. There's always something going on. There's a volleyball tournament going right now. Oregon is the number 4 seed in the tournament. Big volleyball tournament going on right now. So yeah, find something to watch, my guys. Watch something to watch. NBA update. NBA is cool. The NBA play-in tournament, or not the play-in tournament, the what is that? In-season tournament is going in right now. It's cool, man. It's still kind of confusing to me. I mean, it's not really confusing to me. It's just more so annoying. I'm tired of playing the same teams over and over again. It's cool. The colored floors are hella annoying. I feel like they're OD. Um, my team personally, the Nuggets, we going crazy right now. It's trying to find our footing. It's up and down season. Russell Westbrook's fitting in nice. Love his energy. Love the energy he's bringing to the team. Jokic took a next step. He's on another level. I think he's averaging 30, like 30, 14, and 10 right now. Averaging a triple double, shooting like 50% from three. Had 5 steals the other night in the tournament game against the Warriors. Yeah, he's one of the best ever basketball players that I've ever seen do his thing, and I'm glad he's playing for the Nuggets, and we get the experience through the lens of him playing for us, man. We won a championship. I'm happy he did that. But I mean, I feel like this year we need to make some moves, or, these players that are playing with him right now need to get their shit together because we cannot waste another season of Jokic's prime because what we're seeing, we've never fucking seen before. And it's so amazing to see stat lines that we're seeing from him every night, and it just seems regular. You know what I'm saying? If it was LeBron James or anybody else putting up this stat line, it'd be all over the front page of news. It'd be all over these sports programs in the morning, every morning, but it never is. It never is because it's Jokic. He's won MVP last 3 out of 4 years, and everybody's tired of the accolades. Everybody knows that he's good, but if he keeps getting better and his statistics keep getting better and he keeps doing crazier shit every game, can we just put that on national television and put his name everywhere? Come on now. What's going on? I, yeah, I'm not gonna go into my rant about it, but you guys know. Lakers are in shambles. They lost by 41 points today. Celtics, they're not even in the in-season tournament right now. Um, Not in the knockout round for a team that's supposed to be running through the season and going to win the championship for sure. I feel like they should have made a little more noise than that. I don't know. I think that's fallen by the wayside. But everybody protects the Celtics. Everybody loves them, but doesn't say anything critical about them ever. So that's that. Cavaliers fell off a little bit. They have 3 losses now. We thought that they were going to go undefeated forever. I didn't think so. I thought once they played the sorry ass Sixers on whatever November 13th, they would have lost. But again, Embiid and Paul George never play. Embiid just stole an MVP from Jokic just to say he did that and never wants to play basketball again. I feel like he wanted to play in the Olympics to actually win something and win a gold medal, and then he said he's going to sit down for the rest of his life. I know that's hate. And I think he's probably a good guy, but all that shit that you talk and all that tough guy persona and all that trolling you give off, and now when you down bad, you expect people to be mad or sad for you. I get it. I do want you to do your best and not be sitting on the bench because when you do play, you're kind of awesome. But it's like, bro, it doesn't seem like you're working as hard in the off season to be good as hard as you are working that mouth pause. You feel me? And talking a bunch of shit. I don't know. He's just gonna, I wouldn't say die on, but just be happy and live with that MVP award for the rest of his life. it's sad to see, and it sucked to see the Philadelphia 76ers so down bad. Team meetings and injuries every other day. It's kind of shitty. But moving into pop culture, Kendrick Lamar's album GNX is out in your DSPs right now. Anywhere you listen to your favorite music, check that out. I know you guys have been waiting for me to talk about this, and I've been waiting to talk about it with y'all, man. How y'all feel about the album? I loved it. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a lot of plays on there, a lot of songs that I even think that I'd like hella like start vibing with. There's some songs that I skipped off of first listen, but just listen to the whole thing now. It's just masterful, man. It's just taking different regions of California and melding it together to make a melting pot of representation of the West Coast and California living, built off the back of the Drake and Kendrick Lamar little beef. You know what I mean? I know the beef is the focal point of everything that's going on as far as music. Everybody wants to be, oh, like, oh, Drake influenced him to make this music. Oh, this further proves that he beat Drake and this, and that, man. I don't know, man. I'm all about the music, and I'm glad that this piece of work came out of it. Whatever side you were on, again, I just hate when people kind of try to deny good music. Whatever person you like in this beef, whether it be Drake or Kendrick Lamar, you cannot say that they don't make good music, both of them. So for you to deny anything, I mean, some might not be your taste. I can get it. You may not like every song, but I would just call you a hater if you can just sit there with a straight face and say you couldn't find one song from these artists that you liked. Being from either side, you know what I'm saying? Again, personality wise, that's one thing because you're taking the art and just taking that. I mean, sometimes personality can be art. It can sway how you determine the art. But me personally, what I'm in it for personally is the music. Sometimes what these artists do I would say off the field, away from the music, sometimes does affect the way society kind of runs and how people think. So sometimes I could have an opinion on that, but otherwise, man, I don't want no harm to come to either one of these brothers. I think they're both focal points in hip hop. I think they're both existing, whether you like one or don't like the other one. I think this it's really integral, and it gave us a great hip hop year. You know what I mean? In this album, I think it really cultivated a lot of the shit that went on. I like that he put the album out, didn't really go into the tuck and just sit around until the Super Bowl and do the whole thing that people think Kendrick Lamar does. Puts out music sometimes and goes sits for 10 years and doesn't come out again. I like the constant dropping. I like the fact that during the beef that when Drake swung at him, or when he swung at Drake and Drake swung back or whatever, he didn't cower in. He had more shit in the tuck and kept dropping and dropping and dropping. They both kept dropping and dropping and dropping, and then after the Not Like Us and the battle was presumed won by Kendrick Lamar. I say presumed because again, you know, you know. After that, just following up with the album with him really first of all, squabble up, because he played that snippet before the Not Like Us video and shit like that. So everybody was like, what that shit gonna be? He was waiting for that shit to drop. For him to drop that and not put Not Like Us on the album, have an album full of artists from LA, just gave the vibes, the Bay Area vibes, influence in there, the LA vibe influence in there. And there's still the braggadocio, Kendrick Lamar talking shit, standing on everything, talking about his coming up and letting people know ain't nothing fake about him. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know what he is what he represents. People on this album, I'll put people on from my city, bring people together to let them know how it is out here. And this shit ain't sweet. I liked it. I liked it. You know what I mean? You know, some people are going to hate and say people just dick ride and just give him credit for whatever he does. But I can kind of say that people do that for Drake as well. I think that there's some songs on there that are kind of silly and not meant to be like super serious and be critiqued from bar to bar. But the beats and just what he was going, the vibe, and some of the silliness is fire. You know what I'm saying? I like that shit. And you know what I'm saying? People can respect that. And again, just to keep the play both sides. I'm a big fan of a lot of the shit that Drake does too, but sometimes, there's shit that I don't like and there's shit that I do like. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems that now Kendrick is on a little run and he has a lot more. I wouldn't say he has a lot more songs than I like than Drake, but it's just like a cohesive art piece that just keeps going. He's so himself And he's so standing on who he is and doubles down on it, has never really changed. And it's just the way he raps, the way he says his words, the braggadocio, how sure of him, even though he says some weird and a weird ass tone of voice, he's so sure of his lyrics and so sure of his art that he knows it's not gonna come off as silly. People are gonna find it to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Drake, sometimes you can get lost in that. He has so many different styles. He sings, he's Jamaican one time, he's British here, he's from Houston here. You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of a chameleon, and I kind of like that about Drake. You know what I'm saying? He can fit in wherever, he can make melodies out of whatever type of music or whatever genre he's on. But I also love that Kendrick Lamar has always been hella LA, always been a different kind of LA, a very he's rappy, but he'll also come and put that hood LA rap in there as well. You guys know what I'm talking about, hood LA. I'm not really the biggest, like the people that were on his album. A lot of those people, local LA people, probably know all about. But me being outside looking in, being a Bay Area dude, you know what I'm saying, not really knowing about those LA artists. Um, Hearing that and being the kind of rapper that Kendrick Lamar is, hearing both of those together and seeing that style, it was really cool. And staying in Kendrick Lamar style, seeing the Squabble Up video being so similar to the Not Like Us, and just his other artwork and the stuff that he tries to portray. It was a great piece of work, man. I just wish it wasn't followed up by Drake going and trying to sue, saying the whole Not Like Us and all the success that Kendrick Lamar was having was bot generated, and UMG tried to promote, and I get it. If it was bots and stuff and promoting his music over another artist's music and kind of like not getting shadow banning or just making sure something of another artist doesn't succeed, I get that. But it seems like he's suing just because he feels like UMG was promoting an artist that was on their label. And it just so happens that they were beefing and he had songs that were talking shit about Drake and them still promoting that song as a label, though it was successful for UMG, that's a problem for them. That seems a little weird. I mean, it seems like, okay, you're playing a song and getting promotion from people calling me a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. I'm suing for defamation type shit. I don't know if that's how it works. I've never really seen legalities taking place over a rap battle, so I don't know what is legal and non-legal when it comes to verbal warfare in a rap battle. I don't know if you can sue somebody for defamation in a rap battle just because the song happened to sell records and be really popular and everybody hear this rap battle song that embarrasses you. I don't know if that person is liable for spreading rumors for people thinking those rumors are true. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. And it seems kind of me personally. It seems like people gave Gunna a really hard time for the whole snitching allegations and stuff like that. I don't want to put a snitch label on it, but him running and suing over a connection to a rap battle kind of seems kind of on that level. Because if you don't give somebody or go to court for the suit that you're trying to sue them for, you would go to jail, right? So, I mean, if you have the suit towards UMG, I know UMG as a company won't go to jail, but if he was suing Kendrick Lamar and was like, okay, Kendrick, you got to pay me this much millions of dollars from because the song was this successful. If you don't pay me, you're going to jail type shit. That could be close to snitching. That could be like this snitch adjacent. But again, I'm not going to put that label on. I wouldn't put that label on anybody. I'm just saying. And of course, I don't really think what Gunna did with snitching. Still waiting to hear details about that because Gunna's my dude. You feel me like that? No bias there. This is messed up bias though, but very, very, very interesting world that we live in. But go check it out right now. It's in your downloads, GNX. I like a lot of songs on there. Hey Now, TV Off, Dodger Blue, Luther. Reincarnated is a beautiful song. Uh, what is it? Men in the Garden. What is it? Walk in the Garden. Of course, Whacked Out Mural. It starts off hard. All the songs are on there, man. He's going on tour with SZA right after the Super Bowl, going to Toronto. It's just, man, it just seems like he's a master artist And when he gets his mind on doing something, he's going to execute and he's going to keep his foot on your neck, especially if you come after him and his family. So I feel like this is one time where I feel like Drake made a cross the line he shouldn't have crossed. I mean, yeah, man. Going on tour after he said that SZA was washing him up, talking shit about him, comparing his career to SZA, and then him going on tour with SZA, making a beautiful harmony song. You know what I'm saying? Just like making one of the best songs on the album that's gonna be radio played all over the place within weeks. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts and it's genius. And at the same time, I mean, you shouldn't have messed with that man. He's sitting there quiet in his cave all the time, and you want to poke the bear just seeing who just to try to see who you can knock off. Man, the male ego is a dangerous thing, man. And some people are not to be played with. Moving on here and get you out of here. I know I'm yammering, you know what I'm saying, monologuing over here, you know what I'm saying, for all my Incredibles people. Uh Brave New World, I'm talking a little bit about Marvel doing a DCU update. Brave New World, I think that's what the new Captain America is called. Anyways, they're doing reshoots again due to a negative review they got from one of the viewings. This is I think it's like second or third time they've been doing reshoots for this movie, man. At this point, I mean, you've shown so much shown so many previews, you promoted it so much, it's coming out so soon. Just leave it alone and put out the movie, man. Let us be the judge of what is good, what is bad. I get it. You guys view everything beforehand. You guys, as a company, think you know everything. It is your company. I get it. But I just feel like you guys are cutting and doing a whole bunch of bullshit to a lot of projects that people want to see. Though there has been some clamorings and some drawbacks at the beginning and some hesitancy to get down with some of the shit that you're doing. But the Robert Downey thing, like people have got back on board, the mutant thing, the Deadpool thing, everybody's gotten back on board. But it just seems like they're always doing some bullshit to try to knock you off board. You know what I'm saying? I get it. People are already kind of thrown off by the CGI on the Red Hulk and Harrison Ford looking so much like Harrison Ford when he turns into the Hulk. Just let it go. Just play the movie out. I mean, I understand you don't want to have another Secret Wars on your hands, but I think I've seen enough to actually have the movie look like it'd be okay. Um, Captain America having the wings still and having that a prominent part of Captain America because you don't have the super serum. I love it a lot. I love it a lot. That gives him a lot of ability to do a lot of things. Him cutting through the car, that shit was epic. Just put the movie out, man, because you've already, man, I don't want to see it. I'm a Marvel guy. I wouldn't completely switch. I know that for sure. I will ride with y'all till the wheels fall off. But James Gunn, hey, Creature Commandos already comes out tomorrow. We're gonna see how it rocks. Superman is getting really close to dropping. I know James Gunn will have us on the right path over there in DCU. So don't make me have more hope for DCU projects than I do for MCU projects because you canceling the Blade project. I love Wesley Snipes, but saying that you're going to use him for multiple projects and just use that as Blade, no, we're not doing that. We need Mahershala Ali. I get it. I get it. The whole joke of there's never gonna be another Blade. No, there needs to be another Blade. Let's get that out of there. And then you talking about you want to cancel Moon Knight season 2, but you want to have the the Scarlet Scarab TV series. What are we doing? What are we doing? I get it. Midnight Suns can be an epic movie thing that you could do whenever, but I don't want that to be after the whole Secret Wars. I don't want it to be after you do the whole mutant saga with bringing in Robert Downey Jr. I don't want this stuff to take the back burner. You've had good projects. We've sat through the She-Hulks. We sat through the Agathas. We've seen you try to do this Young Avengers thing that nobody wants. Now you're taking the sickest characters that you've had and you're just throwing them to the wayside. Oh, yeah, we'll do this later. We'll do it in a Midnight Suns. Do I have to specify how dope of a team that you have there with the Midnight Suns? I get it. You can set it up with the whole Wanda thing because Wanda's in there. You can have her set up through the whole Agatha, WandaVision, and Vision Quest shit, and then you can have that coming after. But to have Magic, to have Moon Knight, to have Blade, to have Doctor Strange. to have, what is it, Werewolf by Night, to have Man Thing, to have Ghost Rider, to have all these characters be in one movie and do it correctly. I don't really have that kind of faith right now. Especially, I don't have the faith in you developing these as an Avenger style, doing these movies one by one. I'm trying to see this before 2037. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see this shit. You're just canceling shit and making Ironheart. You're canceling shit and man, I don't know. Letting Sony put out shit that has nothing to do with the MCU, but distract us with motherfucking Craven, distract us with I don't know, these Venom movies that are not even in the MCU when you know you should have Venom in the MCU. It should not be a comedy. You know what he represents. It's like you take my favorite characters and you fuck them up. The Hulk. When's the next Hulk movie gonna be? Is it gonna be Mark Ruffalo? Are you just gonna knock him to the wayside? Or are you just gonna make the Hulkling the new character and be Wiccan's love interest and ruin the character? Okay, I don't want to say ruin the character like that. That's a little far. But it's just like, come on, yo. Come on, yo. This let's get it together. Let's get it together. I have high hopes for everything. Again, the Robert Downey Jr. thing, the whole success of Deadpool, them maybe doing a Wolverine versus Hulk, another Deadpool movie. I get it. All that shit is cute, but we want that continuity again, how you had us in the first couple of phases. This whole phase five shit is all wonky. Jonathan Majors dropped his case. He got his cases dropped against us from his ex-girlfriend. Bring him back in the fray and do something with that, please, man, because this whole shit is getting crazy. I hear one thing and another thing happens. I hear another thing happens. Like, okay, we get it. We love the mutants. We want the mutants to come in here. But it's like, there's other characters that need to be refined and talked about. And man, a lot of shit going on. But anyways, Cinema Corner, The Madness on Netflix is out right now. The newest hype right now. I don't know what kind. I would call it a thriller, action thriller. Let me see. Coleman Domingo, another person speaking of the MCU that should be in the MCU. They're finding a lot of actors out here, especially in Netflix, when they see a black person out there that's acting. It's in a lot of roles. They'd be like, oh, maybe this person can play one of our black characters in the MCU that we don't have. I know that's kind of like I wouldn't say typecasting or just kind of like that shouldn't be the height of us as a black actor, like, be popular enough to make them be a superhero. Nah, sometimes when you get sent to the superhero films, you get typecast. But I always do kind of hope for a prominent black actor to get cast as a superhero in the MCU. Just because there's so many black heroes that aren't represented, you know what I'm saying? And Blue Marvel and other characters that just haven't been talked about as much that can definitely be portrayed, especially by actors that we have already, minority actors and upcoming actors as well. I'm happy they're finding new actors, especially the guy playing Green Lantern and stuff like that. But we take actors that are popular in the white world and the Hispanic world and put them as main actors now. Can we get some of our black actors that are out here and throw them in some superhero roles too? We got some people we want to see. Goddamn. But anyways, The Madness is pretty good. If you guys want to check it out on Netflix, watch the preview. Black dude, CNN anchor, kind of controversial, jogging at his little cabin he has in Philadelphia. Some shit happens at his house, goes to his neighbor's house, finds a body over there. He don't know how the body gets there. He goes to the cops. It becomes a whole conspiracy. They try to blame it on him. And then he goes through a trial of things to see what's really happening. Why they looking for him? Does he get caught? Was it really him? Who's behind it? You know what I'm saying? Why did they kill him? You know what I'm saying? So he goes through it's a mini series. It goes through a trial of ups and downs to see what happens, man. It's an eight episode series. Cool little ending. Got a little wild for me at the end. I'm like, God damn, this shit's deeper than I thought it was gonna be. And some kind of details can be, kind of like loose. And at certain points, it kind of takes you out of it. But it's cool. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's something good to watch. And Coleman Domingo, he was one of the people that they actually were thinking about making recasting as Black Panther. You know what I mean? So I think he would also make a good recasted Black Panther as well, if they don't go the route of making his son grow up and actually be the Black Panther and taking the mantle, and if they actually take one from an alternate universe and just having them be T'Challa. Coleman Domingo would be a good person to make that. But yeah, check it out. It's on Netflix right now. Moving on to something that's really good. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, Skeleton Crew finally dropped. New Star Wars project just dropped on Disney Plus. Came out yesterday, first couple of episodes. Um, should be on Disney Plus now by the time you're watching it. And I talked about it. I talked about the trailer when it first dropped a couple of months ago. The Goonies Star Wars is what I call it. It's just kind of cool, man. It's a different aspect of Star Wars we haven't really seen. We've seen the kind of, futuristic areas, kind of like the slums and kind of like the rich places of the Star Wars universe, but we never really seen everyday life from like a middle class to upper class family on a planet in the Star Wars world. And we actually were able to see that in this show. It has a bunch of kids in it from different walks of life who stumble across a spaceship and who get sent into space and thrown onto an adventure. It's really cool. It gives like, the Goonies vibes, a lot of the early kind of like kid adventure vibes. And again, it's different aspect of Star Wars. We don't really get to follow kids around. Well, you did with Anakin when he was young, but in this one, it's like nobody really in the Skywalker saga or no really known characters. Brand new characters played by kids. You have Wim played by Ravi Conyers, the main star there. You have Neil Robert Kennedy, or you have Neil, the little elephant blue creature played by Robert Kennedy Smith. I really like the little blue guy because he's kind of like an elephant. His trunk moves when he talks, and Star Wars for his like practical effects and people actually wearing the costumes and acting in the costumes and having the practical effects move. The old school shit from back in the '80s, and they try to keep that going and have that like a staple of the Star Wars shows and movies. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a little boy who plays Neil in a elephant alien suit, and it's really cool. It's really cute because the voice is he's a little kid voice and he's a little chunky elephant, and he gets in a whole bunch of shenanigans with the main star Wim. And then you have Firm, played by Ryan Kira Armstrong, who's this kind of like rebel girl who goes to school with Wim, but is street racist and is kind of a rebel out there, kind of doing whatever she wants, kind of fighting authority type of girl. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get shit done. Then you have KB. It's Firm's friend, kind of like a tech geek. She has her little glasses on, little tech glasses, and she's hella smart and shit. And it's kind of like the mechanic of the group. And then you have the robot, SM33, voiced by Nick Frost, the chubby guy from Shaun of the Dead, not the skinnier guy. That's the dad in The Boys, but the chubbier dude. He's been in a whole bunch of shit. I think he played fuck, I forgot most recently. I think he played like an elf or a dwarf in something. Not Lord of the Rings, but was it Game of Thrones? Was he in Game of Thrones towards the end? Anyways, yeah, he voices the robot. It's pretty cool, man. They all of them kind of end up together. They're all little badass kids, and end up at this little place on their planet. They come from this planet, I guess. I forgot exactly what the planet is called. But I guess it's a Republic planet that has like a super famous gold reserve, but nobody knows that it still exists. But all of a sudden, I guess they all end up in the same place one day. Unearth a spaceship, a star cruiser, end up opening it, getting locked inside, reactivating the ship and the droid inside, and getting sent into space. And as they get sent into space, they wake up the droid who takes them to this kind of pirate planet. And they get into all these shenanigans, and they hear where the kids are from. Dindarin, I think it's called Dindarin. That just came to my head. I don't know why, but that's what the planet is called. And when they hear about Dindarin, everybody knows, like, yeah, no, that place doesn't exist. It's a myth. Like, it's a planet where there's gold reserves that are never ending, and the money they have there and treasure they have there is hella precious. So once everybody figures out where the fuck they're from, they start chasing them because they pull out some dough from there because the little kid had a little bit of lunch money in his pocket. He was like, hey, can I pay for this food with this? And they're like, oh shit, this money comes from this Republic planet that don't exist. Where y'all kids come from? So they all end up getting chased around and getting caught up on the planet because the main pirate on the planet is interested in where they got their money from. So they get caught, and then they meet fucking, it's not Ewan McGregor, it's the other guy. What's his name? Uh Wow. His name is the other guy that I always get confused with him. He was in Prometheus. What's the fool's name? Anyways, and they find him and he's a Jedi, and that's where the second episode ends. It's really cool. I don't want to give away too much because it just came out. I will be talking probably about this just like I was talking about the Penguin episodically, trying to just talk about a little bit of shows that come out, you know what I'm saying? Because we still need to be talking about our movies and shows, and hopefully I'll get somebody to talk about it with me soon. AKA is a big Star Wars guy, so hopefully I can get him on here soon to talk about some Star Wars shit. But it's cool, man. I really am excited to see this one. I see they took their time and took a different approach. I know everybody's kind of tired of seeing, oh, Jedi's, Luke Skywalker. And I know the Acolyte got really bad reviews. Nobody liked that. So for the Skeleton Crew to come out and have such a good first couple of episodes, I think everybody's gonna like it. It could be marketed towards kids a little bit more, and the family can all watch it together. And I think it'll get a lot better reviews than the Acolyte did. But yeah, check it out. Disney Plus right now or Hulu. It might be they have a bundle now. I don't know what the fuck they be doing, but if y'all want to promote me or support the podcast, Hulu and Disney Plus, holla at me. You know I'm a Disney guy. But that is the end of the podcast. We made it to the end where I like to let know you can find your boy at on Instagram as SAC_Lydell. On Snapchat, Patrick_Lydell. If you're looking for anything podcast wise, you already know where to find me. So I'm Best of Bias. I'm gonna try to be on TikTok a lot more, try to promote a lot of the shit that I talk about on the podcast as well. But on Instagram, it's Best of Bias, of course. And on TikTok is also Best of Bias podcast as well. I'm going to try to also post a lot more previews or a lot of clips from the pods as well to get on the Instagram so you guys know what's going on and what to expect from the upcoming episodes. Again, I'll put stories for the podcast on the Instagram as well, just to keep you guys up to date. Though it may not be in the podcast, I like to put little hints and updates and shit, posts and links to articles so you guys get to stay up to date on everything. If it's not through the pod, it'll be through the stories. Stay up to date with your boy. Like, subscribe for the YouTube as well. You can find the Best of Bias podcast on YouTube. 227 video. Well, there's over 200 videos. I don't think we have 227 videos, but we have a whole bunch of videos and clips thanks to AKA, who always does a great job putting these videos together. Thank you, AKA. Round of applause for that guy. Silent golf clap. But yeah, he's been holding us down forever, man. And without him, there would be no Best of Bias podcast. So AKA, thank you so much for everything you do. Again, shout out everybody. Shout out yourselves. Thank you for clicking on this podcast. You could be anywhere in the world. But you chose this podcast to be at with a brilliant theme song. Again, thank you, Dank Reynolds, for the beat, man. This theme song has been a hallmark and a stalwart for this pod and for everybody clicking play, because without this theme song, man, I think that's what entices everybody to be here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the best of Bias. But we will be remixing the song really soon. We want to get AKA on here. We want to get V-Ron's voice on here, promoting, getting there on the tag. You know what I'm saying? So remix coming real soon. I think we're going to try to have it on here by the new year. You know what I'm saying? That might be my goal. New theme song by January 1st, AKA, you heard me. Keep me honest. If you guys need merch, of course, we got the merch all day still. Hats, beanies, dad hats, shirts coming soon. We didn't get to go to the fashion district in LA to get the right type of shirts that we wanted. The fam and for Beautiful Struggle, they were trying to do some stuff, so I told them to go out there and try to find me some cool shirts for Best of Bias as well. We didn't get to find the shirts that we wanted yet, so we're still working on that stuff. But hats are still available anywhere. Again, like, subscribe, hit the bell on the YouTube video so you don't miss it. Thank you for everybody who does go out there and do that for me, because it is really important to see the support there, because we do want to get monetized eventually out here. I've been doing this just for the love so far, but we need to get monetized out here, get the Best of Bias media everywhere, and let everybody know what it is, because it is your favorite podcast. But till next time, it's episode 227, the Best of Bias podcast. Lydell Dinero. Love y'all. Love y'all. And where that theme song at? I'm out here. See you. It's the best of Bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of Bias. Your Best of Bias.